Hi there, this is taken from my monthly watchlist series. If you want to see the full thing, the link's in the description. Cheers. Freddy, Jason, Michael, the drumming rabbit from K-Vat. All horror icons we know and love, but none are as bizarre as Pinhead, the leader of the Cenobites, demonic beings from hell unable to distinguish between pleasure and pain. What's unique about the first Hellraiser is that the Cenobites aren't the main antagonists. They're more an ambivalent force just doing their jobs. The real villains are Frank, an escaped Cenobite victim rebuilding his body, and Julia, who go on a murder spree in a surprisingly English-looking America. The makeup effects are exceptionally gruesome and gory. We have an extended sequence of Frank rebuilding his gooey body with loads of those reversed melting effects that were very popular in 80s films and should be brought back, I think. I love how meticulous the resurrection is, showing each stage of the body rebuilding in extreme detail. And of course, the individual Cenobite designs are iconic. We have Pinhead, the Hell Priest, and his wonderfully sinister voice.
Oh, no tears, please. It's a waste of good suffering.
And his entourage Chatterer, the family dog, Butterball, the surgeon, and Pinhead's right-hand woman, creatively named Female Cenobite. Collectively, they're known as the Order of the Gash, which is delightful. Each has a distinctive look with the skin-tight rubber suits and body mods that are a perfect illustration of the concept. Like if you think sadomasochistic demons, this fits the brief perfectly. But as I said, they are just thematic devices to illustrate Frank and Julia's sinister desires and their plot to off Larry, Frank's brother and Julia's husband, and regenerate his body. 3 actors portray Frank. Sean Chapman as original recipe Frank, although they overdubbed him with a generic American accent, so technically 4 actors. Oliver Smith as skinless Frank, and Andrew Robinson as Frank wearing his brother's face. The final Frank iteration is the other icon of the film. His delivery of the final line,
Jesus wept,
is a great mixture of defeat and taunting, which Robinson actually came up with himself. And Claire Higgins, who plays Julia, somehow manages to be convincing as someone who's in love with a skinless man.
Disgusting!
After his dissatisfaction with Rawhead Rex, Clive Barker took charge of the adaptation of his novel, The Hellbound Heart, and directed the film Hellraiser, although it was made under the original, more camp, Sadomasochists from Beyond the Grave. Now, I'm fond of Rawhead Rex. I think it's a goofy but fun monster movie, and I recommended it in a bonus video on my Patreon. But of the 2 films, Hellraiser's Hellraiser. Rawhead Rex doesn't have 9 sequels, although both feature the charming hand-drawn lightning effect. I've seen the first 3 movies in this 10-movie series, and while I recommend Hellraiser 2, although it really bugs me how it's called Hellbound Hellraiser 2, just call it Hellbound or Hellraiser 2 or Hellraiser 2 Hellbound. I wouldn't suggest going further than the sequel. But a new Hellraiser is coming out next month, directed by David Bruckner, who did The Night House, which has some very creative depictions of ghosts. So fingers crossed for the new version.